are doing something different, but given that it's only our 4th video, we're still figuring it out. Well, there have been a significant amount of people that have seen the actual evolution of the truck. There's a lot that don't know, and it's kind of funny because when I was talking about doing this video on Friday, it was last night, we got a comment on one of the videos saying, like, it's kind of cool how you came right out into the stick shift scene and just broke into it with a 6-second truck. And that's not the case. So, this is going to be very beneficial for just everybody to know kind of where the truck started. There was 4
versions of it. Yeah.
4 versions of the S10. First one, not going to be included in this because it was such a long time ago.
It was more street truck than anything, so it really wasn't part of my drag racing career at that point.
And even with the first truck that we're going to start with today, it never went on the track.
Yeah, it went on the track.
It went on the track?
Twice. I think it went a 1090 once, and then it never really progressed. It just kind of stayed there.
Okay. So, basically, it started out as a street truck, and it has since evolved into what most people know now as the Native Nightmare said. Do you want to explain a little bit about the Silver S10? Give us just some general details. What was in it?
It's just hard to remember everything on that one.
Well, it was 8 years ago?
The Silver Truck was meant to just kind of be competitive, fun, drag racing around here. I always wanted to go fast with the stick shift, but it was never serious.
What engine and trans did you have in it?
I'm trying to remember. I think that one had a stock 6-liter block. It had...
I thought that one even had the 5.7 in it.
I think it might have. I
I
think it started with... Man, I can't remember. It started with 4.8, then it went to the 5.7, then it went to another 4.8, and then I built a 6-liter block for it. And then it evolved so many times, I don't even remember. But the TKO trans stayed in it for pretty much every single one. There's a small block Chevy in it at one point too. No, not with the silver body. That was street truck. Yeah. I had that one turboed too, but that was was that it?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Holy shit! I think that's when I first ran my turbo setup on a small block Chevy.
Because you had the 383 in there.
Yeah.
In the black truck.
Yep.
And then I think you started dipping into the turbo stuff. And then you went...
I think I sold that. I blew that up. I blew the small block up. And then I switched over to LS because everybody said that it was the hottest thing ever. And then I went down a path of self-destruction. Damn it.
So basically, we're going to get into that. We'll share videos of the Silver S10 that we're talking about and then just continue on. And yeah, everything's going to kind of be unraveled, and you'll learn the history and the struggles and the accomplishments and kind of how they vary throughout the video.
Mm-hmm.
silver truck. Silver street truck.
Silver street truck.
Burnout machine.
Burnout machine. Like fourth gear, just fucking put it on the limiter, let it eat.
Needless to say, he used that truck to try and impress me. He would go through a set of tires every single night. And
it was
he was
fun.
Spending like, what, $1,000 a week on tires?
$400 or $500.
Yeah.
It was one set almost every other week.
Yeah, so needless to say, he was doing burnouts everywhere that he went when he wasn't street racing.
That was fun. That was a fun truck.
That was interesting. So at that time, what would you say your goal was with that truck?
Basically to just be out on the street booling.
Yeah.
Just straight up fucking acting a fool. Hooning around.
And that's pretty much what you did. Every single day. Anytime you drove that truck out, you were going absolutely just...
Yeah, that thing was like 130 mile an hour monster all the time.
Like... And at what point were you like, I'm done? Like, and then start the transition into the new truck. The second truck. The hodgepodge.
I think I had cut the body up so far on the silver truck that I was going to go to a 3/4 tube chassis like the S10 is now. And I think I was in over my head at that point. This was like really, really long time ago.
That was 2015, 2016.
Something like that. And I ended up picking up my buddy Bradley's truck that was supposed to be for her, but that ended up switching up because nothing was really happening. I needed a new truck, so I took that from her and I built it into I was trying to make it the fastest stick shift at that time, which I think the record 820, and Ray Bulak had that. Yeah, I was chasing that, and that's kind of what started me on the path of chasing the GM LS, whatever you want to call it, record. And that
more took you away from the street racing aspect.
I think I just focused more on no prep racing and racing that thing at the racetrack.
Yeah. Well, because you were pretty focused on getting it dialed in and actually having numbers to support what you're
And that
doing.
was single turbo in the bed. That was a 6-liter block.
Phases.
Yeah, that one
There's
has.
so many phases. I don't even...
And then after I finally got it working with the single turbo and the 6-liter, I took that turbo off and I put twin bullseyes on it, and that's when Bullseye came on board.
Mind you, the day before we were supposed to be down in Indiana.
No, it was like 3 days. It was 3 days, 4 days that we talked about it. Yeah, I finished it like half a day.
We were supposed to leave.
Yes. That was a nightmare.
Moral of the story, they were almost done running his class when he's pulling off the trailer.
Always a
in
rush.
The pits.
Always a rush.
It seems like every single truck goes through its phases. And with that, what was your fastest pass with that truck? 820?
It went an 852.
Was that...
At 165 mile an hour.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought it went a lot faster.
It did not go a lot faster than that. That truck struggled to get out of its own way.
Yeah, that was definitely... It's just crazy to think of like how hard you fought for an 850, and you got to that 850. You're like, oh, I'm good. It's a mid 8-second stick shift pickup truck. And
I
this,
planned
that,
on painting it at that 850 mark, and unfortunately, it went the 850 in I think November, and then the next year was when we went to TX2K with it with Austin. And then after that, it ended up meeting its demise into the tree. So that one wasn't lit for very long after it actually started moving somewhere, but it still wasn't where it should have been. The thing was fun, but the truck's way more fun.
Yeah, that it is.
You know what's gonna suck?
Hmm?
You know what's gonna really suck? When the mic isn't working right now. and that thing can't hear a thing that we're saying.
Let's just be optimistic that that is not the case.
All right.
I did 2 mic checks and we were good.
Okay.
It was golden.
Dialed.
He's deviating away from what is going on right now. So with that being said, progressing from the raggedy,
The dirty Sten.
yeah,
The dirty Sten.
Ultimately,
the raggedy bitch she was.
That was the true form of the dirty stuff. Fitting.
Now, keep in mind that truck had been around for what, 3 years? 4 years?
I think 3.
For 3 years. 3 seasons.
Yeah, from 2016, 2017 to 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 seasons with that truck. And in those 3 seasons, I learned everything that I needed to move into what you guys know as the truck now.
And which, when that happened, obviously it wasn't a choice to start all over again. But I had told him, do everything that you want to do now. Because he had a habit of changing like 3 or 4 or 5 things at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And not being able to fix those bugs.
And big things. They weren't small things. They were like whole different turbo kit. Redo the whole suspension. Yeah.
Doing the intercooler.
It was just more than what it was supposed to be. With the new truck, I think all the things that I've changed are much smaller in comparison. Like engine size change is 20, 30 cubic inch at a time. It really hasn't been crazy. Turbos, those really, I mean, it's been twin turbo since it was built. The headers have been replaced just because I had an issue with the control arms would touch the header, and it ended up just not fitting how I needed with the 88s going in it. Yeah, just minute changes. So like I learned big changes aren't always the greatest thing. Mm-hmm. Figure out a combination and make it work.
And just chip away at it.
Yeah.
Piece by piece by piece.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing the kitchen sink at everything and hoping
like
that it
one
sticks.
thing isn't the answer to going fast. It's a multitude of things. Mm-hmm. You got to make everything work together. Be happy.
Yeah. And so with this new truck, what was your original goal? Just overall goal with the truck. What was your...
The new truck was to be the H-pattern king. Yeah. Just the fastest H-pattern vehicle on the planet. I've been picking away at it. I'm coming around to getting there, but I think it's going to be a struggle for those last few numbers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, especially you're fighting for tenths of a second when that tenth of a second means how much more horsepower do you need and where can you find that? And that has been
the struggle with this motor, finding that extra power to get there.
Like the struggles of the past trucks don't even compare, because like that was just piddly shit that was going on getting in your way, and now like you got it almost zeroed
but it was so
in.
repetitive.
Yeah.
Transmission issues all the time because of the synchronized trans. Trying to shift something that makes 1,300 horse with the clutch pedal and with the hydraulic system, trying to make that live through that, man, that just isn't necessarily easiest thing to do. Yeah. So that fighting that constantly, flywheel coming loose constantly because of the way the two-step hit with the ECU system I was using on that old truck. Lots of stupid struggles that just were easy fixes with different ECU, stop shifting it because of the trans being dog boxed, shifting it with the clutch with the dog box trans. That was a big one. Even when I first built the new truck, I was still having throwout bearing issues. Throwout bearing issues because it would just tear it up as soon as I'd try to kick the clutch. And as time's gone on, I've realized like there's just no reason to do that. It doesn't make a difference. I can shift it the same way, either way, with or without the clutch, and it's same I would with doing the clutch. So it's, I don't know. The new truck's just a different animal, different problems.
At what point did you put this transmission?
That was with the new truck. G-Force came on board when we built the new truck, and I knew it would be different, but I didn't really realize how drastically different it would be.
I'd say that it's been pretty loyal to you.
Oh,
Considering
absolutely.
It is rode hard and put away wet and still
That
comes out every time.
that first trans, there was 140 passes on it before I pulled the input shaft and put a new one in. And then I think I ended it right around 160, 180.
Yeah.
I money shifted that one at Great Lakes one night. Yeah. It was a 232 shift at like 150 some mile an hour. This shit was crazy.
Really good at blowing shit up.
That was crazy.
Doesn't half-ass anything. And so, I mean, with setting the record in Florida and then resetting it while you were in Texas, what is your next goal from there?
The goal was always to be H pattern king. Like that truck needs to do that. There's a point that needs to be proven, and it's you don't need $1 million, and you don't need a group of really intelligent guys, because I've been doing 99.9% of the work on this truck.
He's got us. And then like a few
And I'm
people
not
here and
saying
there.
that they're not knowledgeable, but they don't know the suspension and they
I'm a
help me
fucking
with
idiot.
everything else though, which helps.
One thing that I think's cool is that you're able to do a lot of it all yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Rather
Even
than
From the
having-
fabrication to the
it's not
tuning
like
to the
I know a lot, but you know, it's like you're still able to do a lot of the stuff.
yeah. And how many times have we come back after a pass and I've been like, dude, I felt it shake up the tire. What's weird with the new truck? Yes, one change at a time, but I have learned what works and what doesn't work by doing it. So now I can make 5-6 changes at a time, knowing what I'm getting
knowing that they're
into.
actually going to be beneficial changes rather than just kind of covering your
Like
eyes.
when we were in Georgia, with the shocks not being able to hold, with the pressure not being where it should have been.
Yep.
I had to make changes, the launch RPM, how the boost comes in, how the suspension reacted right off the hit, added tire pressure. I mean, there was a bunch of different things that I had to try to overcome to get back control of these shocks that no longer were being backed by a nitrogen pressure. Instead, it was down on pressure and is acting as a normal oil shock. And when you're dealing with so much power, the tire hit really makes a difference when you have that pressure in that canister. So the shock was out of control, and I had to get it back into control, which meant turning the truck down ultimately, and it still ended up running a decent number. So go fast, don't suck.
Well, I guess he said it. There's that. It's just a little like toe dip into the water of the trucks that kind of have led up to this point. But I feel like it's a good thing for everyone to kind of know where he started and where our team has started and kind of all the stuff in between. Obviously, we can't explain it all. We'd be here for 42 days. And
Yeah.
that's just like cutting pieces out. But he definitely...
It's been an
has-
evolution. It didn't
has
just drop
been
in my lap.
the
It wasn't
evolution.
just given to me. It was
a lot of hard work,
Effort.
dedication, disappointment, time. There's a lot of sacrifices that have been made to get to this point. And I think that pretty much sums it up.
it costs $25. Just fucking you put the money in and you don't look at it, all right? Don't fucking think about it. Just do it and come racing.
I'll cut that out of the part. Needless to say, it has been a lot of trial and tribulation through the course of these last 3 builds, essentially, to get to this point. And hopefully it's only up from here. And I guess we will see what happens next.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see
Later,
you
guys.
next week.
Oh, so fast.